It's apparent that politics rot people's brains, regardless of which side you take. On one side, you have this 56-year-old grandpa, 57-year-old grandpa, that complains about the woke. I don't know what he means by woke, but people found his YouTube channel and finds out that what he means by woke is trans people. I made a post on a loony leftist's post about a woke game, and the whole army of he, him, and she, her attacked my YouTube channel. Wait, he, him, and she, her? So, pretty much everyone then? Seriously, those are the pronouns of almost everyone in this planet. I mean, yes, they don't write them in the bio, but they do use them. So, if you got attacked by he, him, and she, her, you got attacked by 99% of people in this planet. Not only rightfully so, but those numbers do not lie. On the other hand, we have the woke side trying their best to make us care for their issues. I don't do politics. Translation, I am privileged enough to ignore injustice when it doesn't impact me personally. No, it means I don't want to talk about politics, especially not with you. You're the type of person that shoves politics everywhere and does not care about the time, the place, or the people that you're shoving your politics to. We got way more garbage to deal with in our real life to care for politics. You want politics? Here's some politics for you. Indonesia's economy is so screwed that the value of USD is higher in our Indonesian currency rupiah, meaning that whatever we buy in USD will get way more expensive. And we buy a lot of stuff in USD, including imported goods. Crazy, right? But that also means that whatever USD that we get is way more valuable than before. So go donate just $1 through any of the links in my bio. You would help me way more than if you donate $1 a couple of months ago. Please help me survive this country.
I'm so sorry for being Indonesian. It's not my fault.
Shameless e-begging aside, let's go back to talk about people shoving politics everywhere. Terminally political people have zero self-awareness and lets media influence them this easily. How can anyone be a fan of anime and be right-wing? Because anime doesn't influence people's view of the world. The world influences people's view of the world. Do not overestimate the anime's influence on people's politics. They just like seeing teenagers fighting for the fate of the world. Or each other. You are in disbelief that people watch anime and still be right-wing. Even if I accept that most anime are left-wing, I mean, they do have plenty of feminine-looking guys, what makes you think that they're left-wing enough to convert someone to a left-winger? If anything, it says quite a lot about how you perceive media and how media influences you. Just because anime turns you left-wing, for some reason, somehow, doesn't mean everyone else will turn left-wing because of anime. Right-wing anime fans are extremely tone-deaf when it comes to the media they consume. No, it's more like they don't let the media that they consume affect their worldview. And this isn't a left-wing or right-wing thing. Like I said, most people's views of the world are not influenced by media. Their view of the world is influenced by the world. Pretty straightforward concept, right? If someone becomes a left-wing or a right-wing, it's most likely because the world around them turns them that way. Yes, anime can be a part of that world, but it's only one of the many more significant factors. Also, this person blocked me on Twitter X for some reason. I am the most inactive user on that platform. The fact that you blocked me anyway shows how incredibly spineless you are. Speaking of pointless politics, our next hoopla is definitely about that. Something about politics really rot people's brains on their view on media. Are you telling me that Rowling made a game where you can romance children? No, she didn't make the game at all, actually. Rowling has nothing to do with Hogwarts Legacy. She did create the franchise, but she has nothing to do with the game, aside from creating the franchise. Also, you don't romance children. You romance teenagers while playing a teenager. This is my Hogwarts Legacy OC, a British Indian teenager. It's called role-playing, which is something you do in a role-playing game. Even the latter Harry Potter films include role romance between the characters too. Even kissing in public in Order of the Phoenix. I know because I love the movies, and Rowling being an idiot with stupid politics doesn't erase that. What about Persona, Life is Strange, or Mixtape? Mixtape has no romance. Life is Strange only lets you to romance Chloe, and I honestly don't care about Chloe. I only care about Max because Max is awesome. Persona does let you romance teenagers, but also adults, except you yourself are a teenager. You can buy these games on your local game stores, and the police won't arrest you for it. I don't know what those are, and I don't care! You should, because those games contain the content that you find abhorrent. They sell incredibly well, and you can legally buy them on the nearest online or offline game stores. I keep up with what Rowling is doing because she owes me money! Why does she owe you money? Because you love the franchise, you find out that Rowling is an absolute doofus and you want your money back? Sounds like buyer's remorse to me! It's ironic how media literacy is encouraged, but the people that encourage them have practically none. How do you write a whole book around a concept you supposedly don't condone? You separate fiction and reality. It's that simple. Writers write people getting killed, assaulted, tortured, abused. Insert horrific things that can happen to human beings here. That doesn't mean they want to do it to people in real life. To me, it feels like the disclaimer is there to soften backlash rather than fully own the concept being explored. If I want to be generous, I think they do it for legal reasons, and that's about as good as any reasons can get. If you write something, then you condone it! In fiction, not in real life. The Godfather is one of my favorite films of all time. That film inspires me liking mafia stories and writing mafia stories, not making me want to start and command an actual mafia. Anti-fiction people really have no concepts of nuance or even empathy. I'm starting to think that depiction is endorsement. Okay then, by that logic, fans of action movies endorse beating people in real life, right? No, fans of a certain media endorse having more of that media, not the media being applied in real life. Fans of slasher films do not endorse real murder. They do, however, endorse more media like it. Showing X means telling people doing X is something worth being shown. Wow, you almost got that. You are so close to approaching a nuanced conversation. If you don't want to endorse what you are showing, you have to show its downsides, and even then, it's not guaranteed. Every media that I consume depicting or glorifying horrific things have shown consequences to the people who commit them. Even John Wick, who go out on a killing spree for revenge, has to go through 3 more movies dealing with the consequences of it. And they are not pretty. There are some that manage to get away with it though. It's called Karma Houdini. Look it up. How are you going to recognize that something is bad if you are not shown or told the downsides? Wow. You either have zero media literacy or you are a sociopath. You don't have to be told that something is bad. You just need to have some empathy to know why doing bad things to others is bad. When you get stabbed, it hurts. The same applies to anyone who gets stabbed. That's how it feels. That's empathy. That is a basic human function. The fact that you have to be told by a piece of fiction that murder is bad is a dead giveaway of how empty and morally bankrupt your morals are. People love to police others for fiction so much. Why you enjoy media matters. If it's to get off to your disgusting kinks which sexualize the suffering of others, then you are extremely weird. Being weird is not a crime. It doesn't make you a bad person for being weird. I disagree. They are bad people and yeah, criminals in some places. If they are bad people, then what are you gonna do about them? Just leave them be? Are you gonna call the cops on them? What are you going to do? LOL show content is illegal in some places. Yes, in around 40 countries out of 190 to 195 countries around the world. Those countries also ban 18 plus content in general. They are incredibly restrictive on freedom of speech and expression, and they also want to monitor your private activities. Their law is a joke. Legality in this context is where US and Japan wins, while everyone else is eating trash. If you genuinely support that crap, it normalizes so much harm. First off, it does not. Second, use some punctuations and symbols for God's sake. Even kindergartners write better than you. People use that "it's just fiction" as a way of normalizing it and making children think it's normal. No, predators make children think it's normal, not everyone else who consume fiction. Predators are not doing that because fiction makes it normal. They do that because they want to diddle kids. Stop blaming fiction for what the groomers are doing. My goodness, these anti-fiction people just can't seem to understand the nuances of statements. Fiction doesn't affect reality. You think it doesn't affect reality because you get hard from seeing little girls. That would prove fiction affects your reality. Nice counter-argument there. Here's one major factor that you miss. The girls are fictional. They are not real. They're getting hard on fictional girls, not real girls. It's not illegal or predatory to get aroused at young fictional characters. It is illegal when real children are brought into the mix. The predators found my post. Abandoned ship. All the fetish degenerates suddenly swarming this post. Gee, I made a horrible take, and now people are attacking me in the quotes and replies. How about you don't call people predators and criminals with no basis online? That way, they won't end up doing all this. Anti-fiction people really want you to describe the fiction you consume just to highlight how messed up you are. The fiction in question is not real. Fake. You want me to describe it? Okay. It's about teenagers trying to murder each other. It sounds bad, doesn't it? Except it's the standard plot of most shonen anime. Even Westerners have media about teenagers talking about love, romance, sex, drugs, or alcohol. I could make a fiction sound really bad if I enjoyed them. But it doesn't matter. Fiction is not real. Fiction does fiction, but never what the fiction is. This fiction is about a killer cat girl that cuts people in pieces with her psychic mind powers, befriending a guy that loves his cousin. This fiction is about high schoolers being killed in the most gruesome of ways. This fiction lets you romance your high school homeroom teacher, your junior, and even a 10-year-old. This fiction is about middle schoolers that got put in a magical contract by an eldritch abomination to save the world while risking their own life and sanity. And guess what? The world is still revolving just fine while these exist and is consumed by millions of people. Actually, the world has a lot of problems. I'm looking at you, my country's economy. But I don't think any of these fictional contents contribute to that. If anything, they make living this world a whole lot better. Those saying it's not hurting anyone are deluded, by the way. Nah, it's the opposite, that's true. It's one of the gateways that lead to abuse. You really have no idea how or why people are actually being abused. If you think fiction is one of the gateways, look these up if you want to know more. And that's all for the video today. Here's a cat. Huge thanks to all the wonderful sponsors this week. You're all fantastic. Don't forget to check out my previous videos here. Click the like button, comment, subscribe, join the YouTube membership, leave some tips, just $1 down below. And thanks for watching.